doctor's appointments keep getting weirder and weirder. Has anybody else in my age bracket noticed that? Everybody wants to look up my butt. Seriously, they'll be like, your chart looks great, but we are going to need to do a rectal exam. And I'm like, well, okay, but you know I'm just here to get my teeth cleaned, right? Like, this feels a little invasive. It does. Gosh, and I used to diet and exercise, so I would look good naked. Now I have to diet and exercise just to stay alive.
Let me just say hello to everybody. And what you just heard was Missy Hall, who is our special guest today on the Funny Women of a Certain Age podcast. And now you get to hear her again because I'm going to say hi, Missy Hall.
Hello. How are you?
I'm doing okay, covered with dog hair as usual. Hello, Leighann Lord.
Hey there.
And you are well?
I am well indeed.
Covered with cat hair?
I can neither confirm nor deny.
So that's going to be a yes?
Yeah, well, you know, he had me sign an NDA, so I really can't talk about that publicly.
That's private. We don't want to talk about that. It's private.
I see. All right. Okay. So I have never met Missy Hall before, but Missy and Leighann, you guys have known each other for a while, it seems, yes?
Yes. Well, it's interesting because we see each other like once every 5 years, it seems like. Not that often, but she's one of my...
It's like a comedy club booking rotation.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
And how did you meet? Comedy, I assume.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was at a show. But I'm not sure whose show it was. Maybe Peggy?
It might have been. It was either Peggy or Carol. I feel pretty certain that it was Peggy or Carol, but I'm not.
I know. I do know that the last time we worked together, it was at Helium in Philly, and that definitely was Funny Women of a Certain Age.
That was. And
that was a great show, if I recall.
Wasn't it? That was a really great show. Really, everybody had great sets. It was a great audience. The snacks were good.
The green room was lovely. We were well treated.
Yes, it was a great afternoon.
You could still get home and watch 60 Minutes if that's what you do on a Sunday.
Oh my gosh, it's the best to get to do a show that isn't past your bedtime. You know? Yeah.
Well, now see,
or gives you flexibility for various bedtimes, and not like you get home. I gotta sleep right now.
Well, see, that's what I was gonna say, because I am absolutely a night owl. If I go to bed by midnight, it means I'm very sick, or that I have been up since noon the day before. So a show that lets me get to bed at my normal time would end at 2:30 in the morning.
Oh wow.
Okay.
Yeah, I've always been a night owl, and it does not serve me well in America, because we're a nation of get up with the sun and go out and plow the cow and feed the South 40 and whatever it is farmers do, and go to bed with the sun and all that kind of stuff. And I just can't do that.
Yeah. My favorite aunt is the same way. I know not to call her house before 1, but if I'm on the road late night, I know I can call her. And she will be up and can talk me home as I'm trying not to fall asleep at the wheel.
Absolutely. That's what we're good for. If you're up in the middle of the night and you're having a crisis, who can I call? Shelly's probably going to be up having lunch. So.
No, Shelly, you do bring up a good point. This nation does have a bias toward early risers, and it's not just a casual bias. I mean, almost everything is set up for day walkers. And people of the night, there's almost the assumption that you're lazy. Right?
Yes.
Yeah, because you're sleeping late, but they're not seeing you up at midnight or 2 a.m. And instead of the more healthy approach is embrace where your energy is and where you function best.
I've always felt bad for kids who are wired more to be geared to being that, because they have to be at school and participating and learning so early in the morning. And that goes, especially adolescents. I mean, that goes against everything in their brains and systems.
Mm-hmm.
We are not very kind to.
I was late for high school every day.
Diversity for sure.
Yeah,
you did what?
Absolutely. I was late for high school every day. Every day. Amazingly, I didn't fail out, but And it wasn't the kind of school where you could shift your schedule or anything. You had to be at homeroom at, well, I don't know,
Right.
9 o'clock, 2 a.m, whatever time it was that they wanted me there. And I just couldn't do it. Could not do it. And then when I got to college, I had the presence of mind to not take any classes before 11.
Oof. Every
Which is
now
one of
and
the
then,
reasons
though.
Well, yeah, but after your first year, you have a little more flexibility theoretically.
Yeah.
And that's
Yes.
one of the reasons I didn't become an astronomer, because all of the astronomy classes were at the other end of the campus at 8 a.m. So that was out.
So that rules it
Yeah.
out.
Listen. I get it. That's
Yeah.
why I'm not a banker.
I have banker hair. I never could have been a banker or anything serious. I got the wrong hair for that.
Oh,
Well, don't they-
I started out pretty serious, but I learned really quickly, like, yeah, don't do that. That's a trap.
Yeah.
So, Missy, I want to tell you, I was looking at your blog, which, by the way, everybody should check out because there's some wonderful stuff in there. I was reading the entry that you did about sharks,
Yes.
which I was laughing because, I mean, I understand it was. Could you explain that a little bit for people?
Sure. I had started going through this irrational fear that someone in my family was going to get eaten by a shark. I will explain.
Thank you.
Because we, in the past couple years, we've had some actual really scary stuff happen in the family. I had cancer. My daughter was in the ICU after hemorrhaging after a pregnancy. Everybody's fine, but these were really big, scary things.
Mhm.
And I had to stop thinking about those. I couldn't keep thinking about those. But then what happened is my brain decided it had to fear something.
Mm-hmm.
And I made the mistake of reading this article about a man whose child was being attacked by a shark, and he was trying to wrestle his child away from the shark. And I'm like, this could happen. Like, this could happen. So I've gone off the deep end,
So to speak.
so to speak. Yeah. So I'm like, oh no, now this is my worry. I'm no longer worried about cancer, bankruptcy, anything being wrong with baby. I'm like, one of us is going to be taken out by a shark. And I have to keep myself from warning them constantly. Like, my daughter's husband is from Hawaii. They were going to Hawaii. I'm like, you gotta be careful about the sharks. Like, there's going to be sharks there. If they go for a walk on the beach, I'm like, there could be a shark. Like, I know it was ridiculous. Like, don't go to the Baltimore Aquarium because the sharks could come through the glass. I've seen that happen in a movie. And I just displaced all my fear there. Because, my brain knows that that's not really going to happen. So if I stress about that, I'm not thinking about the stuff that could really happen. But that's what I do a lot with my writing, the blog, the book that I'm working on now is taking big, scary stuff and turning them into the ridiculous, really.
Well, I wrote this down because this was like, oh my God, she's reading my diary, which I don't keep. Missy Hall said, quote, I hate sand, being wet, and bathing suits.
Yes.
And I am with you on two of those.
Oh,
Sand
absolutely.
is my mortal enemy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sand is pretty dirt. I don't get it.
And it gets on you and it stays on you.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Stays on you.
I went to the beach 15 years ago. I'm only just now. I'm kidding. Can I ask a techie nerdy question?
Sure.
Missy, what platform do you do your blog on?
I have been using my website so I have a Squarespace website. So they're there. And I also just signed up for, oh my gosh, what's the platform all the writers use?
Substack?
Yes, I have a Substack.
Okay.
So I transfer everything there. But all of them are readily available on my website. I thought that was a good way to just have them.
Yes. Oh, it absolutely is. I've blogged for years off and on, and it's a great way to do a book, by the way. And was having the conundrum of, do I move to Substack? That's what all the cool kids seem to be doing these days.
No.
Because I'm on Medium, but I'm like, oh, another platform? Like, geez, you guys.
I'm going to continue to do my website and Substack when I remember Substack. Sometimes I forget. I forget. Do you guys do that?
I forget Medium. Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I forgot. But yeah.
No,
that's how I feel about TikTok.
I do my writing on this. It's a little
Very
pad.
nice.
And
very
that's as far as
nice.
it goes.
Very, very old school, very traditional.
Listen, that's my middle
Dearest
name.
gentle reader.
Gentle reader.
And I write with a quill pen.
Like little doodles.
Oh. Yeah. Leighann, any irrational fears you care to share?
Oh man, listen, we don't have enough time for all of my irrational fears, but it's funny, Missy. I'm hearing you talk. You're trying to hold yourself back by warning other people about your fears. And I remember I'd be hanging out with my mom, and I would get up. I'm in my kitchen. I'd get up to go to the bathroom, and she'd go, "Be careful." I'm like, woman, it's my own house. I'm walking down the hallway. It's not a bad neighborhood inside the house. Like, what do you know that I don't know?
Right. Like, what are you saying?
Sharks.
Here's the thing. It's mom brain, especially when my daughter also became a mom and I'm watching her mom, I'm worried about everything. I'm like, he's going to choke. She's going to, all of it. So sharks was the easiest place to just channel it all. Like somebody's going to get taken out by a shark. Yeah.
Do you remember Saturday Night Live back in, I don't know, the 1970s, I guess it was, or 80s? They had a thing, a character called Land Shark.
Land Shark, yes.
See, that's what I figured had triggered you. Maybe you were watching an old episode of Saturday Night Live.
Yeah, no, honestly, what triggered me was that just heartbreaking article about that. And I was like, oh, and I just went down this rabbit hole in my brain. And that just became...
I really get that, because it almost feels safer, because the real fears, you know what I mean? They're legitimate fears. My freedom, my safety, that stuff is kind of too big. So it's almost easier to go, you know what, there might be a shark in my bathtub.
Yes, it really is, because, the big things are happening, right? And then when I just started getting obsessed about sharks, I realized that was actually my brain protecting me from the real things that I was scared of.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Although it is still hilarious to think of, going to the aquarium or walking along the boardwalk and being worried about
and I do. And that's why I love writing like that. I love taking a real life thing and, again, doing something ridiculous with it that people will remember because they laughed at it, but it also has that little, that little
grain of truth.
I will say that as a writer, you put your words out there. You don't know how they'll affect people. You hope for the best. But I had a lady reach out to me on LinkedIn a few months ago. I had completely forgotten I had written something when I had surgery. I had gone in for like a fibroid procedure, and I'd written this funny article about it just to get all my anxieties and feelings out. And this is 2 years ago. She reaches out to me. Hi, we haven't met, but how are you doing? I was doing research on the procedure you talked about, and it was so funny and so helpful. And I just wanted to reach out. And do you have any advice? And how are you feeling? And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, wow.
Wow.
Yes.
And I'm like, honey, I'm totally fine, but don't be a hero. Do the anesthesia.
Yeah.
Right? Because I was like, we're gonna do this in office, and whoo, don't do that.
No. I request anesthesia for getting my bangs trimmed.
Yes. I've gone to the dentist. I'm like, can I please have laughing gas? And they're like, you don't have an appointment.
Yeah. Get out of here.
Yeah, those nerve endings in your hair are very sensitive.
Yeah, especially when you start counting them as they're dwindling. Like,
Yeah. Oh my gosh, is that happening to you? Yeah.
Life.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Yeah.
So then, Missy, the other entry in your blog that I loved was about what you shouldn't wear when you're over 50.
Yes.
Because that was my mother was a very conservative person. I mean, personally conservative, so societally liberal. But when my sister and I were small, we dressed in little dresses and little white socks and patent leather shoes, and I'm sure she would have made us wear white gloves if she could have. And so as we grew up, she lost control over us, generally speaking, and clothes wise. I know it caused her a great deal of, should I say, agita, when I decided that my uniform is jeans and sneakers, and depending on the weather, t-shirts, turtlenecks, whatever. I haven't worn a dress since 2012, I think it was 2011. I
It
haven't
was a dark
worn.
and stormy night.
I won't wear high heels. I just don't. I just don't. So, but because I'm now 500 years old, I was looking at your article and I went, yeah, there's things I feel like I should do about my clothing, and I'm just not gonna.
Mm-mm. No, no. I also laugh that most of the people who tell people in our age group what we should wear and what we should look like are people that we've already been. Like I was already 30. I was already 20. I was dressing myself, and I don't need to dress somebody who's older than me, right?
Right.
I think if I want to wear nipple tassels and a hula skirt and some Converse sneakers, that's on me, right? I don't have
Literally on you, yes.
yeah, yeah. Maybe lightly brushing the guy next to me. I don't know. But it's just, looking back and thinking about all of the things that's like, well, when I'm that age, I will still wear heels or I won't, or all of those things. I'm like, none of it, you get to do what you want
How
to
about that?
do with your person, your clothes,
Yeah.
however it works for each individual person. But please don't show me another article like what you're wearing is aging you.
Oh, I hate those.
Or she's trying I hate that, and also I don't like she's trying to look young. Not
Yeah,
trying to
right.
look young, she just likes that outfit. It has
Yeah,
nothing to do with trying to reverse the years. She likes her outfit. So back off.
right. Now I know that, Leanne, for you, clothing is kind of more important
Oh,
than. Well, I don't want to say more important. Is
yes.
important, right? Because you're always
I'm a
very well
clothes
dressed. You always look.
I'm a clothes horse. Absolutely. I get it from my
Yeah.
mom. I think fashion is art. If you're out in the world and
Mhm.
people are looking at you, you should be worth looking at. Not, and worth isn't the right word, but like give us something to see. That said, I'm
Sure.
not spending like tons of money on designer. Like that means nothing to me. If you say, I got this for $3, like that makes it even better.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do like pretty things. I do like dressing, but I am a firm advocate of you. There's a difference between what's in fashion and what's your style.
Mm.
Yes. Completely different concepts.
Yes.
And Leanne, can I tell you, there was a show, I think it might have even been during the pandemic. It was an outside show, and Regina, I
Did
can
she
never
go?
Did
say
she
her.
go?
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yes, thank you. Showed up and she saw me from across and she goes, "Oh my God, that looks like a Leanne outfit." And I never been more flattered. Let me tell you, I look good. And she told me, "You look like Leanne. That is a Leanne
Wow.
outfit." I was so
I'm not
proud.
even sure how to feel about
Aw.
that. Oh my gosh.
Good. I looked great. I had on an amazing hat. I had on this cape and this beautiful scarf. Like
Okay.
I was
Okay.
done.
Well,
I
then I
was
love
done
it.
up.
I
Yep.
absolutely love it because
Yeah.
it really
Yeah,
is
yeah,
feeling good in your clothes. So if it's jeans and a t-shirt, do you feel good? That's what matters. Now, if it's jeans and t-shirts
yeah.
at a funeral, I'm
Exactly.
gonna have an issue. I just am. No, I'm slightly old school about that. There are events that one should dress for, and I know, my God, I sound like my grandmother.
Mm.
But yeah,
Well, no, I mean, I agree with you. I do own other
of course you
clothing,
do, Shelly.
and for for um uh for events, sometimes even for shows, I will put on shoes, actual shoes as opposed to
Girl
sneakers,
shoes.
and like a jacket or something. I would love to have Wanda Sykes' clothes because I think she and I have a similar style, but she's got more
Mm,
money.
Okay.
Oh,
She's her last couple of specials, she's had these gorgeous suits, and I go, wow. I actually tweeted at her back when I was still using Twitter, Wanda, where did you get that jacket? And of course, I didn't hear anything back because why would she care? And also, I'm sure that I couldn't afford it no matter
But
where it was
listen, the
from.
day and age we're
But
living in,
so I mean, I do.
there's always a version.
Yeah.
I was about to say the comps, the lookalikes, the
Yes.
knockoffs. I mean, these days you can get a look that's
Yes,
very
you can.
similar for
You
a
take a
budget that's
picture, you
not.
put it, I'm not advertising for Amazon, but just as an example, you take a picture of something or you can upload a picture and it'll find you something comparable. I saw a necklace Nancy
Hmm.
Pelosi was wearing at the DNC. I was like, girl, I couldn't even listen to what she was saying. I'm on the screen taking a picture and I uploaded it, and like the Nancy Pelosi price was like, oh no, I'm not buying an $800 necklace, but this might work for 25.
Hmm.
Right.
So I'm just putting it out there,
Yes.
Shelly. If you know your style, you don't have to spend Wanda Sykes money to have a Wanda Sykes look.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Can I have that in writing, please?
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, let me just also put out there, I'm happy to have Wanda Sykes
Oh
money. If anyone wants to
yes.
give me Wanda Sykes, I'm happy. Not hers
Oh no,
specifically, but that amount. I'm good.
Another
I'm good with that. I'll take it.
Wouldn't that be
wouldn't it?
lovely? That would be
Yes.
Wouldn't it?
Yes.
yes.
I get such a kick out of her. Her voice, just her voice
Yeah.
makes me laugh.
And Wanda's cool people.
Yeah. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Now, there is something, Missy, that I don't know if of course you've listened to all the previous episodes. I'm sure you have, as has everyone. But
Everyone in the world, yes.
everyone, yes. There's something that we've been doing that I get a big kick out of. Now, I'm pretty sure you've been interviewed, dozens, hundreds, thousands of times, but there are always questions that comics get asked. So I'm going to ask you a question, and you can answer it any way you want. You can answer as
Okay.
sarcastically as you want. Wrong answers only. Whatever you want to do. In fact, I'm partial to sarcasm. Ask anyone. So, are you ready?
Oh yes.
Okay. So, Missy, you've been doing comedy for a while. Have you ever been heckled?
Not one time.
Really?
I walk out on stage and people just smile and light up and they lock their eyes on me and they laugh in all the appropriate moments and yell, brava, brava. Yeah. I do have a funny heckle story from when I
Okay.
first started. I was at a really, a dive bar. We've all, one of those shows, a showcase with like 87 people. And
All of whom are male.
yeah. Oh, yeah. All of them. Well, which explains why that even at age 45, which is when I started, I go up and somebody from the audience yelled, "Show us your tits."
Perfect.
So I just yelled back, "Dad?"
Perfect.
There you go.
Yeah. Yep.
Wonderful. Wonderful. I did an open mic last night, and there was one other woman and me. And like, I don't know, a dozen guys. Probably the oldest one was like 34.
Oh,
And all the
wow.
rest of them, young white guys. And I was talking to the young woman later, and I said, "Wow, how many times can you hear a dick joke? How many times can you hear a guy go, 'Anybody here watch porn?'" Oh Lord, help me, please, Lord, make it stop."
And how many of them humped the stool? There's always a
Always a
stool
stool
humper.
humper.
No, none of them. Mostly they were standing, in darkness. They like didn't know where the light was, and then turning around, looking at their notebooks and going, "Okay, what else did I want to work on?" Da, 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 da. I can't tell you how many times I heard da, 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 da. See, this is why I'm not allowed to have a gun. Anyway, so Leighann, your
Okay.
question is similar
Okay.
to that. So, Leighann, in the couple of years that you've been doing comedy successfully, have you ever bombed?
No, never. Never.
Never. Just
Well,
skied
okay,
every
I'm
time,
sorry.
huh?
You got me. All the time, every show. I'm not funny. I pay these people. I walk in and I get everybody's Cash App, and I try to get it done before I hit the stage, and then that's how I've been getting the reactions I've been getting. Yeah, it's
Wow.
I don't even bother to write jokes. I
You know
just
what? Get paid up front. That is the
Thank you.
correct answer. Thank you. Ding.
Ding,
That
ding,
is
ding.
the correct. Get paid
Right.
first and then leave. There's a wonderful song called "Talkin' Seattle Grunge" by I can't remember. Oh, Todd Snyder is the singer's name, and it's a really funny song about how to become successful as a band in Seattle in, I think it was the 1990s, and and essentially what he does with his band is they get together and they decide the way to be successful as a grunge band in Seattle is to not play a note, and then they get a record contract for doing nothing, and then they get asked to do MTV Unplugged, and they refuse to go and play unplugged versions of the Electric songs that they never recorded to begin with.
I love it.
But they get signed for a contract for $2 million. So, Leighann, I think you
Thank
have
you.
something there.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, so time to plug things. Missy, you said you have a book coming out, or you're working on a book?
I'm working on a book. It's not even close to coming out. The working title is Laughing Through Cancer and Other Inconveniences. And
Love it.
so,
Wow.
but I'm only about 30,000 words in. But I'm
Now, is
writing.
that a lot? I mean, I read, but I don't write.
I
So
need at least, okay, a memoir / self-help book should read it around 80,000, which means I need to write about 150,000 to then start revising and all of that. We'll see is my goal. But I'm writing, so I'm leaking out little parts of it in blogs and stuff sometimes. So that's been fun. But the thing I'd actually like to plug is it's easy for everybody because it's free and it's online every Tuesday at 8 p.m. My husband and I go live on my Facebook fan page. We do a little show called The Hallway, and it's just kind of our date night. And we basically are just talking to people because we've got.
Wait a second. Hold on a second. I had a little static in my headphones. Did you say from the hallway?
It's just called The Hallway.
Okay.
The
Okay.
show. Yeah, because we're the halls.
Yeah.
Get it? Da-da-da.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And we do our date night live every Tuesday night. And we've been averaging between 80 and 100 people for the hour. But the more people you get, the more fun it is to do comments. And sometimes we do giveaways. It's been a really fun way. Yeah, well, we all have to push on social media, right? And that's just part of the job these days. That has been a really fun way for us to connect to people in a way that is free for them, in a way that is fun for all of us. And as a result, I've gotten to meet some really cool people in real life because then they'll come to shows and it's been lovely. So that's really what I'd like to plug. If you're interested in seeing me do stand up, my website keeps a schedule of my shows.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Now I do have to clarify something though. When you say date night, how far into the date are we going? Is it the whole date? Is it you going out? Is it staying home, Netflix and chill? What are we talking?
Right where you see me right now is where we sit next to each other with our dogs and we talk to people, and it's been really, really fun. And people, the same crowd joins us, just clicks on Tuesdays. And it's just a really fun way to, like I said, to connect with people you wouldn't otherwise meet. It's free. I like getting to do stuff that people don't have to leave their house or pay me for. It just feels good. It feels good. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that's a date night. Oh no, that's in the hallway.
Just the hallway.
The hallway.
I love that.
The hallway.
Okay. See, now I want you to do this from a hallway in your apartment or in your house. So we can see one end and the other end, and this is where we are in the hallway.
In the hallway. Yeah, there's bad lighting in there. We're going to stick out here.
No, bummer. And then your husband is a carpenter, is that right?
Well, oddly enough, we met because he's also a comedian. But he still has his day job. His full-time job is booking luxury travel. He does that. And then during the pandemic, my mom had given him a table saw for Christmas because he wanted one. One day he looked at me, he's like, I want to go build a table. I'm like, okay. And he came up with a table. And then
Wow.
just started teaching himself, and now he has a full-blown woodworking
I love
business.
that.
But
Wow.
he had 0 experience, and his stuff is beautiful. Like, it's really, really beautiful. So he
Yeah.
calls it Hallway
Wow.
Woodworks. Um, and it's funny, if you're on my website, there's a button that says, "Check out my husband's wood," and that takes you to his
Love it.
website. Yeah. Yeah. So we're we have a really happy little life here in
Isn't
this
that
That's
end of
great?
Delaware.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Isn't that great?
It's
With
yes.
3 dogs and
To
and a
to
bandsaw or a
I mean,
table
the
saw.
world is
Yep.
crazy for
Cool.
everybody, but if everybody could have that space, that little corner of
Yes.
their own lives that is their refuge, that's everything.
Yes. Isn't that the best? I have friends that I say they don't have a soft landing when they go
Yes.
home.
Mhm.
And everybody needs that gentle, soft
I
landing in
I
your
think
own
that's
little
bare
thing.
minimum.
And
How much better would the world be if we
yes,
all had that?
yes, yes, because then we'll be much better when we go out
Hello.
there,
Just putting it
you
out there.
know. But
Yeah.
but yes, I will never take it for granted. Never take it for granted.
Good for you. Good for
Yeah.
you. There's today's lesson. Don't
Ta-da.
take your soft landing for granted. And I don't
Yes.
mean, I don't mean a big butt. I mean just now, Miss
Ma'am.
Leighann, Your Majesty, are you promoting anything? Are you plugging anything in particular? Because I know you've been doing, let's see, you did Dragon
Mhm.
Con and you did the Librarians Convention and then you just did another smart
Well,
person
I did
convention, right?
the most
The
powerful
the
most powerful
bankers
women in
thing?
banking gala. They had me come in last year. It was the first time they ever had a comedian because it's a room full of 800 bankers, and financial professionals,
Wow.
and like,
They shouldn't
no,
bunch
they
up like
really
that because
shouldn't.
one
Like,
hand grenade will
like
get
if
all of
y'all
them.
go down, we're in trouble. Like, who's minding the money? Everybody. But it's amazing. I mean, there are men in the room as well, but it is like we're talking CEOs, CFOs, bank presidents, just global finance managers, and to be in a room with these women. I mean, they're first of all they've won an award. They've been named top in their field,
Oh, nice.
and to sort of be the MC of that, and to go around and meet them because it's just very inspiring, even though it's money. It's very fun.
Mhm.
And so I did it for the
Right.
first time last year. Shock of shocks, they invited me back, and it seems like I feel like they're going to have me again next year because they seem riveted by the idea that I can make banking funny. Like,
I'm stunned
yeah, no, yeah,
myself.
they don't like, but I would share the jokes here, but they would not make any sense to regular people. I'm
Right.
making jokes about the FDIC and bank mergers and Basel III. Like, what the hell is Basel III? Exactly.
Right.
But it's a
Right.
bank.
I think I put some my spaghetti
Exactly.
sauce.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's an I don't want to say it's a banking term, but it's a set of regulations that are coming up for international banking that American banks are not happy with, based off the financial failures that happened last year. And so to be able to know
Ah,
that and then make fun of it, they were just like,
yeah.
"Oh, she is our leader."
Yes. Yes. Oh my gosh, that's the
Right, but not
best.
but
How much how much studying did you have to
tons,
do for that, or did you know all
tons.
this already?
I found out
Yeah.
earlier in the year that they were inviting me back, and so somewhere it was in October, just October 24th, and so somewhere around September, I start paying attention to financial news, start listening to podcasts, because there's a podcast for everything. And so I would deep
Mhm.
dive on these banking podcasts, and when they would mention something I didn't understand, I'd pause, go read articles, go watch videos. So I did a shit ton of research, and then to hear all that, let it sort of settle in my brain, and then start writing jokes. Like, yeah, I earned every
That's a
dollar
lot of work.
they paid
I
me,
was
Right.
gonna say.
every single cent of it, but it was worth it. It was
Exactly.
absolutely worth it. I mean,
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm a really good host. I'm a really good MC for events like this because of my ability to do that. But that's done in the past.
Mhm.
I've got some comedy shows coming up. I've got some funny women of a certain age coming up. But what's been taking up my time, and this is also free at the moment, is I've been impersonating Kamala Harris on social media. I created a show called Kamala Connects. I put on the wig and the jacket and the
Yeah.
pearls, and on
Mhm.
IG and TikTok. I post it on Facebook too. I'll just do a short, joke or an observation or something that she can't publicly say, but I can.
Yeah.
Right? Like I think I post because I'll be posting every day up until the election. I think today's was that apparently Barack asked the question whether or not Trump has ever changed a diaper, and yeah, right.
Oh.
And his supporters are really mad at that. I'm like, well, I don't know if he has or not, but I bet Melania has.
Uh-huh.
So it's just meant to be short and quippy and funny, and it all started by
Fine.
accident. I didn't think I looked like her, but the light skin, the smile, the pearls were there. And
Right.
Maya
Right.
Rudolph can't be everywhere.
True.
Exactly. She
True.
can't be everywhere. Yep. Leanne, I got to see you. I did the Irma Bombeck writing conference home version because I didn't sign up on time. And I was so proud of you
Thank
emceeing.
you.
It was really, she did such a nice job, Shelly. It was really cool. I'm like, I know her. It was,
Awesome, awesome.
Yeah, I do that
And I do
periodically
try
too.
to make
I
my
know her.
my my
Yeah.
virtual audience feel seen. Like that's really important
yep.
to me, to try as
Mhm.
much to bring them into the room, as possible. And so thank you.
Yeah.
And I oh, wow, if you could go live, honey, try. It's amazing. It's an amazing experience.
I have it on my calendar because it filled
Oh
up
yes,
immediately. So I have the date on my calendar
yes.
when
Sometimes
I'm
they
a
sell out.
audition to
They
sign
will sell out
up.
day of, usually within an hour.
Yep.
These women are
Yeah.
serious.
And
Yes. It's quite a
yes.
Wow.
family.
Yes.
Wow.
Yep.
I'm sure it is. All right. Well, I will not keep you. You are very busy people. You got shows and things and live things to do, and I have a little stinky dog I have to feed. So I want to thank Missy Hall and Leanne Lord. Thank you very much for hanging out with me for a bit. I am going to post all of this online somehow and link you to them and things and www dot what the hell
All
are
the
you doing
things,
and
as the
stuff
kids
like that.
say.
All of the
Yes,
things.
that's one of those expressions that I hate.
You hate
Ooh,
all the things.
sorry.
All
Yeah.
the things. Oh, yeah. All the feels, all the things. And
All
I'm just clenching my jaw, going, don't say anything, Shelly. You're old. They don't care.
Whew,
So,
noted.
on that happy note, I want to say again, thank you to Missy Hall. Thank you to Leanne Lord. I will talk to you ladies soon, I hope, and I'll see you soon. And everybody, check them out. Missy Hall's got a great website. Leanne Lord's got a great website. They've got these live things you can watch, and you don't have to pay them
Well, at some
unless you
point,
want
yes.
to, right?
Yeah, I
All
mean,
right.
it's what you do.
All right. Take care, everybody. Have a good day. Have a good week. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.